Hey guys, thanks for tuning in once again. So we have some exciting new information about Battlefield 4 to mull over in the form of the first confirmed DLC called China Rising. Some information leaked on it earlier today, and then it was finally confirmed officially. Also with E3 just around the corner, we have got tons to talk about. So gameplay in the background is some 870 MCS shotgun action with the slithery slugs, which have some ridiculous distance on them. I haven't used this shotgun in a while, and considering how much fun it is, I don't know why. It's so enjoyable just sniping people across the map with slugs. It's not as bad as Bad Company 2, for those of you who remember how ridiculous the shotguns were in that game. But alas, let's get back to the topic. Battlefield 4, China Rising. Now for those of you who follow my channel, I said some time ago that I felt as though some of the Battlefield maps would be based in China. And whilst that was hardly a huge shout, considering some of the videos we'd already seen, and some of the footage that we've seen of Battlefield 4 had like a Shanghai type skyline to it, I also said though that I thought a map based around the city setting in Shanghai or some other Chinese city would be pretty damn cool. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Now I can't confirm the city part just yet, but the China DLC has been confirmed. So the description for this DLC is the following, and I'm quoting this directly. The fight for dominance across the vast and majestic Chinese mainland in 4 massive maps using all new vehicles and high-tech military equipment. So what can we take from that? Well, firstly it says vast and majestic Chinese mainland in 4 massive maps. Now, this could be any part of China, but how amazing would it be if these maps were set in a Chinese city? Let's just say, for argument's sake, Shanghai, a huge Shanghai cityscape. That would be pretty incredible. I think that would be phenomenal as a multiplayer map. The idea that they're saying majestic kind of suggests it's going to be some sort of nice-looking Chinese area. I can't just see it being a Chinese field somewhere. It kind of suggests to me that it will be a Chinese sort of city, or at least one of the maps will be set in and around a Chinese city, which would be pretty damn cool if you ask me. I also wonder if the name of the DLC is anything to go by. China Rising. Could maybe be linked with the single player campaign, maybe China starting to increase their presence, maybe a war involving China in some respect, and the Chinese forces rising up. And that really does link quite well with the image itself. It seems to show some sort of aircraft which looks like a bombing aircraft. In all honesty, I am not amazing at picking out planes. I am not a plane spotter, and any vehicles for that matter. I'm terrible at picking vehicles out of posters and things like that. It could be a passenger plane for all I know. Well, it's not a passenger plane. I know that much. But you get my drift. It's some sort of bombing aircraft. If we put those two things together, it would seem basically shit is going down in China. For real. There are 3 planes on the poster. There's some explosions popping off. Shit's getting real. Now, I have no idea, clearly, if the planes will be playable, or if it's just added there for dramatic effect. Will it be part of a dynamic map? We don't really know. It's hard to say. Now, the info also states that the DLC will include all new vehicles. But it would be pretty silly for me to guess too much about what the vehicles in the DLC could be, because we've got no clue what the vehicles in the vanilla game are going to be, and what they add in and what they don't add in. So it'd be pretty impossible to guess what vehicles could make it in. But it's not too out of the question to suggest that maybe those planes on the poster are maybe playable jets, potentially bombing planes. Certainly nothing that's in Battlefield 3 right now that I'm aware of. I'm not a massive jet pilot, so that's not something that massively excites me, but I know they're not in Battlefield 3. Now, probably the most interesting part of this info is where it says new high-tech military equipment. Now, I find this quite interesting because I've been trying to work out what sort of military equipment they could add. No matter what I did, I could not shake one single thought out of my head, and that thought was grappling hooks. Now, they used to have grappling hooks in the old school Battlefield Special Forces. Now, it may be really unlikely, but when I read high-tech, my mind just went crazy, hoping it was grappling hooks, and I just couldn't shake that thought out of my head. The thought of kind of grappling between high-rise buildings in Shanghai That just seemed incredible. Maybe it is unrealistic, but still, just sit there for a second and think, how awesome would it be if you had Battlefield with grappling hooks grappling across buildings in Shanghai? Welcome to my mind. Welcome. Now, I've stared at this image for quite some time, trying to pick out things that maybe aren't even there. I've been staring at it almost to the point where I've made myself blind. One interesting thing I noticed, though, was that the player on the poster is holding two main weapons. He has an assault rifle in his hands, most likely an M16, some sort of similar weapon maybe. But he also has a silenced sniper rifle on his back, or what appears to be a sniper rifle. Either way, it's still a main weapon. Now, is this an oversight, or is this a clue? Does this mean that you'll be able to have two main weapons? Or will it be like previous COD titles, where you could drop a secondary weapon and replace it with someone else's main rifle? It'd be interesting to see if that's the case, and that's the route they've gone down. Maybe it's only for this particular DLC. We don't know. It would be interesting to see how it works, though, because it's kind of more complicated than that. In Battlefield 3 right now, if you pick up someone else's weapon, you don't really pick up their weapon per se, you pick up their kit. So if they have an M16 and you're a support class, you pick up their kit, but you then change to medic. Now, if you were able to hold two main weapons, what class would you change, or would you not change at all? You would just pick up the weapon rather than the kit. So that's something interesting to look forward to and see where they go with that. Now, E3 is a mere 3 weeks away, and it's now been confirmed officially by DICE and EA that on June the 10th, a live multiplayer demo of Battlefield 4 will be live streamed from E3. Not only that, but E3 is a goldmine of information and game reveals, so after E3 is done, we should hopefully have an amazing understanding of what Battlefield 4 is going to be like in multiplayer terms. I just can't wait. Seeing single player footage is all well and good, but my Battlefield experience is all about the multiplayer, so the thought of finally seeing some multiplayer footage is almost unbearable. Who knows how much footage we'll see, but at least it'll give us a few things. It will show us some bits of the new maps. We can kind of get an idea maybe for their layout and how they're going to feel. It will show us maybe some graphical improvements that DICE have made. But it will also give us an insight into how the gunplay is just by watching the footage, and how that's going to be in the new game, although honestly I doubt it's going to be too different from Battlefield 3. Now that, alongside hopefully some new information they will give us, who knows, it's E3, they tend to give a lot of information, but they also tend to keep some things to themselves. It just depends. One final thing, it has also been confirmed 100% now by EA and DICE, the game will be released on the 29th of October this year. It was a date that most of us already knew and it was floating around, but it's nice to get an official confirmation. So a lot of excitement building. I've no doubt you guys are all excited as I am, but keep it in your pants for now. And as always, I'll catch you guys